Money and jobs versus history and religion. It is a passionate argument in Copper Country, 60 miles east of Phoenix.
At the center of this fight is the Resolution Copper Mine. If approved, it would bring high-paying jobs to an area that needs them. But the jobs would come at a cost. The loss of the beautiful landscapes of Oak Flat, land considered sacred to some Native Americans. ABC 15 going in depth on the battle to build or block the mega mining operation. In our first report, we explain the opposition to the project.
And tonight, ABC 15's Claudia Rupsich and photojournalist Danny Bavaro bring us the voices of those in support.
The Resolution Copper Mine would be one of the largest in the nation, but it'll only be possible if the company gets access to Oak Flat and some of the surrounding land in the Tonto National Forest.
The ore body sits 7,000 feet beneath the desert floor and approximately 1 mile behind an escarpment or cliff known as Apache Leap.
Based on drilling data, officials believe the undeveloped ore deposit under Oak Flat is one of the largest in the world. Resolution Copper estimates it could produce as much as 40 billion pounds of copper over 40 years, supplying up to 1/4 of the nation's demand. Copper to be used in plumbing, wiring, cell phones, medical equipment, and construction.
The copper ore will be processed underground and transported to the West Plant site.
Resolution Copper will dig under the copper ore over the course of about 40 to 50 years. Explosions will cause the ore to collapse under its weight, falling into a series of pre-constructed funnels and access tunnels. Over time, the land will disintegrate into a giant sinkhole. Data shows it'll leave a crater on the surface of about 2 miles wide.
The vegetation in this area will be significantly affected, yet may regrow once mining activity has ceased.
For many Apaches, Oak Flat is at the center of their teachings about life and creation and their connection to Mother Earth. The mine would destroy burial sites, oak groves, archaeological ruins, and petroglyphs.
These things have life. They have a spirit just like we do, but they're disregarded as resources.
In a statement, Resolution Copper said it's committed to ongoing engagement with Native American tribes, saying they've made changes to the plan based on feedback. Those include the protection of Apache Leap, a plan to conserve the sacred Emery oak groves, and a program focused on cultural heritage protection. Resolution Copper is owned by Rio Tinto and BHP, the world's two largest mining companies based in Australia and Britain. In May 2020, Rio Tinto blasted a sacred Australian Indigenous site to access iron ore. The destruction led to widespread public outcry and a promise from the company that it was committed to listening, learning, and changing.
Anything that this company says about protecting these kinds of places is essentially meaningless. They've already broken these promises many times.
Randy Saraglio is a Southwest conservation advocate with the Center for Biological Diversity. He says the mine would have a devastating impact on surrounding landscapes, wildlife, and plants.
If you want to put a big copper mine somewhere, you have to make absolutely sure that you're not going to drive species extinct, but also that you're not going to drive cultures extinct.
Resolution Copper says it's worked for years to come up with mitigation measures. In a statement January 15th, the company said the project has the potential to create about 3,700 direct and indirect jobs in Arizona, saying overall it brings $61 billion to the state over the estimated 60-year life of the mine, creating lasting benefits for the region and playing a vital role in the nation's economic recovery. For more than 100 years, mining has been the identity of the communities in Superior, Miami, and Globe. It's part of the Copper Triangle, a region scattered with both active and abandoned mines.
You have to mine copper where it's found, and it just happens to be found in this area, Arizona. Provides lots of jobs, keeps the economy going.
Gary Jones worked for a mining globe for decades. He says the economic pluses far outweigh the potential cultural and environmental concerns.
The 3, 4, or 5 C's in Arizona, well, a lot of those are going away. Now people want to do away with copper, too.
As long as it doesn't hurt the residents, I think it's great. I really do, because I really think this area needs it. I really do.
The land exchange between the U.S. government and Resolution Copper needs to happen before plans can proceed. The company will get about 2,400 acres around the mining site.
If and when Resolution Copper gets the land, it'll spend the next several years applying for permits and doing more studies. Company leaders say it'll take about 10 years to build the infrastructure for the mining, and they do plan to keep the campground open as long as possible. Claudia Rupcich, ABC 15 Arizona.
Claudia, thanks. And tomorrow, catch the final part of our three-part series on Oak Flat. Our Claudia Rupcich examining the final obstacles to the mine's construction and how the election of President Joe Biden could determine what happens next. That's tomorrow, right here on ABC 15 News at 6.